Yo, yo, if you couldn't already tell by now, I am Wario's biggest fan. I love the character, I love the games. Anything Wario related, I'm on it. Wario is awesome. I love all sorts of characters across gaming, but Wario was honestly deep down 100% my favorite. He makes the games that he's in 10 times funnier by just being there. The way he looks, the way he sounds, everything. His existence is hilarious, which is why we'll be taking a look at Wario's origins, where he came from, and his first game ever, Wario Land. Wario's first ever appearance was not in his own game. Instead, he was labeled as the villain in Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. I can't believe this, they labeled this wholesome, unselfish, kind man as the bad guy. Don't look into the plot of Super Mario Land 2, it's all anti-Wario propaganda. Wario's name derives from, surprise surprise, Mario. The name is a play on words in Japanese. The word warui means bad, so Wario literally means bad Mario. Wario was destined to be a greedy little scoundrel since his creation. So yeah, after Mario Land 2, what would happen to Wario? Well, let's dig a little deeper on the first entry of the Wario Land series. Wario Land was released on the Nintendo Gameboy throughout January of 1994 all the way to July of 1994. The game was like a breath of fresh air, that is if your definition of fresh air is garlic, farts, and money. The game is technically the third installment of the Mario Land series, being dubbed Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land, similar to a couple years later with the first Yoshi mainline game being called Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I'm not the biggest fan of this naming scheme, but I guess I see why they did it, especially for Wario Land, since Wario wasn't in any other game at the time besides like Mario and Wario, which only released in Japan. So, with all that out of the way, let's dive into the first mainline Wario game. This is Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land for the Nintendo Game Boy. The opening sequence starts off with Wario beating the ever-loving snot out of these pirates, and then Wario Land. The tear-jerking story goes like this. Wario was wrongfully evicted from his home on October 21st, 1992. By whom, you may ask? Well, it was that blasted Mario. He kicked him out of the castle, vandalized it, and made it his. Wario didn't have a place of residence at all, no friends or family to seek help either. Wario had nothing. He filed a lawsuit against Mario the next day, and was scheduled to go to court on February 13th, 1993. Wario had photographic evidence and housing records that would ultimately prove that Mario was guilty. But alas, Mario simply bribed the judge and jury with Wario's hard-earned money that was stored in the castle. Wario was devastated, knowing that he was cheated out by the Mushroom Kingdom's justice system. Now he knew that he couldn't trust anyone anymore. Not Mario, not Luigi, not anyone who has special ties with the princess, or the princess herself, because he knew he would get bullied around by the Mushroom Kingdom's unjust government. Despite the bitter taste in his mouth, he worked part-time as a financial advisor for the Mushroom Kingdom citizens, generously teaching people to be cautious with their coins, so they can avoid falling into the unfair reality that Wario had to face head-on. On his off days, he devised a plan of vengeance against the Mushroom Kingdom. He planned to steal the golden statue of Princess Peach and ransom it for money to buy his own castle, and to not have to deal with anyone anymore. He only had one problem though. The Brown Sugar Pirates and their leader, Captain Syrup, have already taken it for themselves back to their home base, Kitchen Island. Wario cannot back down now. This is his only chance to get back what is rightfully his, and to get back at Mario. And that brings us to the game's release date, January 21st of 1994, the day where Wario finally decided to set out on the quest to get the golden statue. This is a true story. It's easy to see it through Mario's eyes because he's the beloved good guy, but for people like us, people like Wario, their side of the story gets completely disregarded, which is why Wario's plan of vengeance will work. The main objective of the game is to make money, whether that be by collecting coins in the level or beating the tar out of everything you see. You can spend your coins on a few different things like checkpoints, but most levels require you to take out a big 10 coin and shove it in the door at the end of the level like a little gumball machine. When you beat a level, there's two different bonus games that you can play. There's one where you spend coins to play on a course where you throw bombs at enemies so you can get hearts, which allow you to get extra lives. Or you can play the gambling game where you put the coins you collected in the level at risk, but for a high reward. There's two buckets, one has a big sack of gold coins and the other one has a 10-ton weight that crushes Wario. When you get the bag of money, it multiplies your coins by 2, but if you get the 10-ton weight, it divides your coins by 2, a chance that I'm willing to take, not because I want to, but the gambling addiction is real. The reason why coins are such a big deal in this game is because it allows you to achieve the multiple endings that the game has, which we'll get into later. Throughout Wario's adventure, there's other things you can grab, like power-ups, enemies, and secret treasures, which again, we'll get into later. The power-ups, or pots as they're called in the game, are kinda cool. First of all, there's Small Wario, which, yeah, he's small. Then there's Normal Wario. He's as normal as he can be. He's got the ability to do his trademark shoulder dash attack, which is one of the greatest melee attacks in all of gaming. Bull Wario, which I honestly thought was supposed to be Viking Wario, but I looked it up and it's Bull Wario. He has the ability to break blocks a lot faster, and he also has another new move, the Ground Pound, which stuns enemies when used nearby. Dragon Wario, which is my least favorite power-up. It allows you to unleash a big flamethrower attack, which is really good, but there's like a 5 to 7 second cooldown between uses, and it gets rid of the dash attack, so yeah, this one just felt like a chore to use, I'm not gonna lie. And then there's my absolute favorite power-up, Jet Wario. Jet Wario allows you to hover across the stage for a short time. It may not sound like much, but Wario is kinda slow, so getting this completely changes the game. I held on to this power-up as much as I possibly could. It's insanely fun to use, just gliding everywhere super fast and bashing through everything in your way. It's awesome. Alright, let's dive a little deeper into the game. Wario's adventure takes place on Kitchen Island, home of the Brown Sugar Pirates. It's split up into 7 worlds, the first one being Rice Beach, then there's Mount Teapot, Sherbet Land, yeah, you know that course from Mario Kart 64? Well, it actually originates from this game. Stove Canyon, the Brown Sugar Pirate Ship, the SS Teacup, Parsley Woods, and Syrup Castle. Besides the different bosses and whatnot, there really isn't much to say in terms of level design or scenery besides, oh, this one has trees. This one has water. This one's normal. And the reason for that is because it's on the Game Boy, and now I'm not bashing the Game Boy at all, but you have to understand that it's a little limited. The bosses at the end of each world are pretty unique too. They're kinda easy, but still fun and satisfying to defeat. There's the Spiked Koopa, the Giant Cow Guy, Boxer Penguin, this guy, Big Bird, and Munchy Floaty Dude. At the final level, the final boss is the genie that Captain Syrup commands to destroy Wario. You just keep hitting his lamp over and over to send out puffs of smoke that you stand on to hit him. After a little bing bop boom 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 bop bam, the genie is defeated. Captain Syrup is defeated, she's sad, she leaves, she blows up her own castle, and Wario finally gets the golden statue. After all of Wario's hard work, from traversing the dangerous Rice Beach, climbing the frightful Mount Teapot, enduring the frigid temperatures of Sherbet Land, the scalding temperatures of Stove Canyon, conquering the pirate's own ship, the SS Teacup, getting through the dark wilderness of the Parsley Woods, and making his way through the deadly Syrup Castle. Wario finally has what he's been looking for all this time. Soon he shall have everything that he deserves, and everything he desires. Well done, Wario. You are to be commended. Yes, viewers, you saw that right. The plan of vengeance has failed. The Mushroom Kingdom's forceful dictatorship wins once again, taking what seemed to be the only chance to restore order in this land. Maybe one day, this land will receive the justice it so desperately needs, but in this day and age, we can only hope. Wait, what's going on? The genie's back. Wario asks him for a castle, but he needs to pay up. This is where the secret treasures come into play. There's 15 of them scattered throughout Kitchen Island. Some of them are pretty easy to find, but others can be really tricky. Like, how was I supposed to know that I need to walk through here? But yeah, after getting them all, Wario sells them to make absolute bank. As mentioned earlier, the amount of coins that you have after you sell the treasures determines what ending you get. You can get a birdhouse, a tree trunk, a log cabin, a pagoda, or even a castle. But if you work really hard, collect over 15,000 coins, get all the secret treasures, and beat all 40 levels, Wario gets his own moon. Finally, he can be free. So, yeah, that's Wario Land 1. So before playing the game for this video, I had no prior experience at all. My love for Wario came from Smash, WarioWare, and really any Mario spin-off game where you can play as Wario. I never really dived deep into playing any of the Wario Land games, which is a shame because, well, at least this first one was an alright game. Do I have a few issues with it? Yeah, Wario's pretty slow, and unless you're actively going for the best ending, the game is actually pretty easy besides a few challenging parts thrown here and there. The levels all kind of feel the same in a way, not like carbon copies of one another, but on the Game Boy, it's kinda tough to make things stand out. Compared to other 2D platformers, this one may feel pretty boring. But I did have fun, the game has character and charm, and I like that. So yeah, Wario Land, pretty alright game. I feel like a poser with my Wario clothes on and not having played any of the Wario Land games, but I am curious to see how the other games are. But that's for another time. I'll see you guys later, and remember, stay fresh.